Bullshit.
I call the Honourable Annette King.
Mr Speaker, Labour will support this bill right through to its final reading. When it was introduced into this House, at that time we said we would support it to the Select Committee, but we wanted to hear the evidence. We wanted to hear what the community had to say, what the local authority had to say, what iwi had to say on this bill. That is because there were some concerns, and there were concerns particularly around overriding the Local Government Act. There were concerns around the way the whole thing had been managed, and fears that a lot of these decisions have been made behind closed doors. And I know that my colleague Andrew Little will go into this a little more and will raise some of those concerns that he has heard up there in the Taranaki area. But at the end of the day, when we looked at the bill and in its entirety and how it emerged and what it's to do and the safeguards that have been put in it, then we believe that we ought to support it. There were lots of concerns, however, over iwi consultation, and I think that this was not handled very well at all. And I think we need to say both to those that will own this scheme and for the council itself that they need to improve their consultation. They need to start earlier. They need to be talking and involving people in the area, and perhaps through lack of practice they did not achieve a good level of consultation. The other concern was this privatisation of an asset that had been built with a dollar for dollar subsidy from government, not from the ratepayers but from government. And you could argue that this is a type of privatisation because it goes into the hands of those who manage it and use the scheme. But you could also apply that argument to those that are given a subsidy to build community houses but still provide that service, and you wouldn't say that we'd privatised their housing. So in terms of this particular scheme, they have put up money, they have managed it, they have been the ones that have used it, and they are the ones who occupy the land on which the water is used. And so we believe that we ought to support this bill at this stage. It has been a long history of this particular scheme going back over a decade. They have been wanting to divest the scheme to the users as far back as the late 1990s. In fact, they did a lot of work when we were in government towards the divestment of this scheme. Unfortunately, it stalled in about 2006, but the company that has got it now has been managing the scheme since 2001. So one of the issues that we raised was around the use of the water out of the scheme for the people of Awakuni, because there are particular times of the year when the people... Opunake. There are times of the year when the people of Opunake actually need access to this water scheme. And one of the things that we were assured by the council and by the company that they have agreed to continue the current arrangement for the scheme to supplement the Opunake water supply in an emergency, and that's when it was used. So that was something that we were very clear that we needed to have tied down, that the people there would have access to the water. Mr. Speaker, as I said, we will support it. It has been a long time in the making. It hasn't been a particularly good process, but I do commend Chester Burris for bringing it to the House as a good local member would.
The question is, we're going to be quick. The question is that, the Honourable